Is this just fantasy? Why, yes, it is. This is a little special thing I'm going to do where I'm going to talk about the October drawing challenge that I did this past year called Tolktober. It was put on by Rogue Print Co. on Instagram, and it was basically 31 days of drawing some Tolkien related drawings. And I won a prize for the first week of drawing. But I'm going to talk about all the different drawings I did. Just a little like kind of director's cut commentary, what have you, about the drawings. And this is like the full list of prompts. And then they also had like a featured artist for each day, including one of my favorites, Becky Cloonan, for the Tom Bombadil Day. And yeah, a few others that I'm a big fan of, actually. And also new ones to me that I became fans of. But I just want to briefly talk about or show you the prizes that I won for it. And thank you again for Rogue Print for being generous. So I'll start with some stickers and stuff that I won. So the first one is actually a Becky Cloonan, like glow in the dark Morgul Blade print. Apparently this also came on shirts and stuff. It's got some amazing line work on it. Super cool, and it glows in the dark. Super cool. And then I have some prints, or I should say some stickers that are by a creator, I guess mostly known as Benno, which I think this is one of his. Or I'm not sure maybe who did this one, but I just really like this Boromir sticker. I think another Benno piece. If I got this wrong, I can be corrected later, but this cool little Gandalf print. And I love this Greetings from Mordor sticker here. And I also got postcards. It's like Mordor National Park. Yeah, with a little Tolkien dragon there. Really nice touch. And an eagle. It's great. Yeah. I'm actually going to try to send some of these out. That'd be a lot of fun. And like I also got with it some of they're like kind of like meme stickers that they create. Or Rogue Print. They got a little they got a sense of humor about it. But now on to the main event, which is the prints that I got. So the first two are by Anne Stead. And this one is like a Shadowfax print. Really pretty. Love the writing incorporated in there. And it's just, such a lovely, delicate print. It's really nice quality too. And this one, which I'm very excited, is definitely, my girlfriend wants it in the bedroom. So that's where it's going. It's beautiful Lothlorien print. The Quenya writing in here. And gorgeous colors and just, suits the place that it's representing. And it's like on like watercolor paper. It's really nice. And then this one I'm really excited about because this is an artist that I've been following for a number of years, and I'm really excited to have this print that he did for Tolktober this year, and it's his Moria print. So this is by Gavin Mitchell, who I think he goes by Bob Goblin online, and just this amazing, I think it's a risograph print. Like, look at these colors. Just gorgeous. Yeah, and this great texture. That goblin head there, goblin skull. Great webs. Yeah, but all of these I'm super excited to have, and I'm grateful. And so thank you again, Rogue Print. But now let's talk about my Tolktober drawings. So day one, Lothlorien. I wanted to note before I got started with any of these that I tried to avoid being directly inspired by like the Peter Jackson movies or previous like well-known adaptations of the Tolkien works. I just, as an artist, you want to craft your own vision as much as it's possible for works like Tolkien's body of work. That said, there of course will be similarities that either are impossible to avoid or are just it's like too good of a design or concept to not kind of engage with. I there are a few times where I guess I feel like I directly am referencing the Peter Jackson films, but generally speaking, I'm trying my best to craft my own vision. So, Lothlorien, this is day one, and of all my drawings, there's some that I enjoy and I feel like I was able to get a lot out of, and there's other ones not so much. I feel like all of these, with a few exceptions, are great concepts or starting points for potentially more detailed or elaborate drawings in the future. And that was something I had to tell myself because it's very hard for me sometimes to not get elaborate. So here, Lothlorien, I thought of just the kind of integration of design and nature that the elves are purported to have for Tolkien. So I went with something fairly simple, iconic, not necessarily representational, a little more stylized, because note that these are all done in a single day. And so for some, like for many, like I had to be very creative to try to make it a drawing I could do in, an hour and a half or less. Some a little more, some less. But I don't know. And the other challenge I gave myself, besides from creating work that was done in a single day and conceived in a single day, is I deliberately gave myself the challenge of only using 2 colors for every single one. So essentially a duotone project. I guess you could say that it's 4 colors because there's also like black and white incorporated as well. But for the most part, I would say that this is a duotone project. And some are more successful than others. There are certain color combinations that I kept coming back to for, I guess kind of obvious reasons. But overall, I feel like it was a fun little experiment. But let's move on to a better piece. The Mouth of Sauron. So this is something that I think I was really successful with. So the idea about the Mouth of Sauron from the books, and I guess, like all of the writings that he did, was that the Mouth of Sauron was rumored to be a Numenorian, or one of the Black Numenorians. I guess somebody like that came to Middle Earth, I think before the island of Numenor sank into the sea. So this is my take on it. So he's unnaturally preserved, unnaturally ancient, creepy. I made the mouth prominent. But I thought like it would be creepy if he had like this like kind of old decrepit Numenorian garb on, but it's he's got this very crude Eye of Sauron painted on his chest, and like it's covered in cobwebs, and it's deteriorating just like he is, and like he's even his hands are kind of like these withered silhouettes, and with the mark of Sauron on them, and I just thought that I don't know, it would be just a cool, creepy image, him coming through the Black Gate, and I'm really happy with it. So this is the one that I actually won for. This is, of course, Gandalf for day 3. And I had a couple of different ideas, but I went with an action scene. And so it's not, I don't think any scene specifically. You could pick a couple, maybe something in The Hobbit, maybe something in The Fellowship or something like that. But this is definitely Gandalf the Grey, and it's him kind of wielding some magic and doing some cool badassery stuff with goblins all over. And I gotta say, for how fast I drew this, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And this, the severed hand of this goblin that he's chopping, the lightning kind of ish powers coming from the sword in the sky. The goblin kind of crying out in the back there. And I even like my nice round action line in there. I was also dedicated to keeping with my comic roots, and so I wanted it to feel like it's a scene from, or all of these are scenes or images from, a comic adaptation of The Lord of the Rings, which, hey, if anybody's looking for that or wants, to hire me to do it, I will do it. So secret places. So this one was a kind of an interesting challenge because it's not very specific. It's very up for people's interpretation. And for me, I was just trying to come up with something that maybe nobody else would think to do. And so I kind of did a cursory look online of what that could be referring to as secret places, and something that came up was Doriath, which is a kingdom of the elves, from the ancient days, and specifically that it sank into the sea, or was covered over with water. And so I really like that idea of a secret place under the sea, and it's this ancient elven civilization. And so that's basically what you get here. And I'd like throwing in all these little sea creatures, and playing with the color and the atmosphere. I really like the 2 colors I chose for this one. I like the broken down statue, and I don't know. I was pretty happy with this one. I feel like, honestly, I would, if of the drawings that I did that maybe I'd want to do a more elaborate version of, this might be one of them. And whether it's going to be for Tolkien or for just my own place that's sunken under the sea, I think it'd be a fun drawing. So speaking of sunken under the sea, this is Numenor, and this is I decided to, instead of drawing any specific person, just to kind of draw the place. And it's this island in the sea, and they're responsible for the kind of mega structures or mega sculptures in Middle Earth. And so I thought that this would be, just a way of denoting that this is Numenor, with some seagulls in there for the size or scale there. There's a boat down there, a couple boats. And, the distinctive style. I actually, I took some of the design elements from the previous Numenorian character, the Mouth of Sauron, and put that into the helmet. But then use their kind of seagull bird motif, and also the white tree, and just tried to do a quick drawing that has a large kind of scale to it. And I'm really happy specifically with a lot of my line work in this one. This one's Moria, and I like playing with the shadows, and having these goblins creeping down the structures, the columns in Moria, and showing the kind of the dead dwarves here. I will come back to Moria, and even dwarves in Moria in later drawings. But I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the color usage, using kind of Gandalf and the Fellowship's light light the scene and the use of shadow. I feel like maybe I could have pushed it a little more even, but I'm pretty happy with this one. And yeah, I don't know, something that could use a little more development if I came back to it. Very happy with this one, the Witch King. So, Witch King is the kind of leader of the Black Riders, or the Nazgul, and I decided to draw him in his pre-Nazgul, pre-Ringwraith form, when he's first getting under the influence of Sauron. And so that's kind of the eyes that are supposed to be behind there, because he's not just reduced to a single eye yet. And yeah, I just kind of came up with this kind of aggressive looking, armor, just creepy looking dude with just these black empty eyes, his Witch King crown, rotten iron. And yeah, the first of one of the rings that were given to men there. I'm trying to pay attention to the lore and stuff like that, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think nice and creepy. So day 8, we have Pipe, and I stuck with a Hobbit. I would say this is maybe my interpretation of Bilbo. But yeah, him cheerfully smoking a pipe, kind of just this pleased look on his face. I put some of the runes of Tolkien on the pipe. But just, kept this one simple. Threw in some of the Shire back there. And, I'm happy with the idea. I feel like, the background could use a little more work, a little more detail maybe, but the pipe is the main thing. I kept the design kind of simple yet kind of rustic, and like he carved it himself. That's, I guess, the idea that I have there. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a sweet little kind of peaceful drawing. But what isn't peaceful is sword here, and there were no specific prompts for the women in Tolkien. And I just wanted an excuse to draw one of my favorite characters in all Lord of the Rings, which is Éowyn. And so I decided to draw the moment when she's about to lop the Witch King's head off. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed coming up with the kind of Rohan horse themed armor. It's hard when you had amazing Weta designers come up with incredible stuff for the Lord of the Rings films, and so you kind of I'm in their shadow, of course, but I just try to come up with something that was my own, and I just wanted Éowyn to have this ferocity, and again, going with the comics thing, even having text in there. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm happy with the pose, the kind of scales of armor, and even the design on the armor itself, and also the kind of gritty flourishes in there. So yeah, really happy with this one. I'm also happy from a design sense with this one, Shelob. So I wanted to hide her in the shadows, just using mark making. Actually, most of this was black, and I drew in the white. So that's just a little back behind the scenes there, and I like the color. Just atmospheric, weird, creepy, and make her more than just a regular spider, but just all these extra pincers and such. I told you we'd be back to Moria, so here's a cave troll, and just a fun action scene. And it was fun to draw. Got to draw Gimli here. At least that's in my opinion what Gimli is, and he's smashing the Tomb of Balin there. I like the knobbiness and kind of grossness of the troll's skin, and his kind of bulging eyes. The bulging eyes are a little riff on the moloids of the Mole Man that Jack Kirby drew for the Fantastic Four comics. So again, sticking with my comics influence. And yeah, and I think I used the kind of orange and dark blue to great effect here, honestly. I think it's a good action scene. Here we have Rohan itself, and since I already drew like a soldier of Rohan with Eowyn, I decided to draw just the land itself, and the only identifiable like location I thought of was Edoras, so place on a hill, and I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like I could have played with the colors a little more, because I wanted to use Rohan's colors for it, but it makes for kind of a weird scene with the yellow sky, because it's otherwise it's blue, and then it's like, okay, then I'm just doing kind of green and blue. But I feel like maybe playing with the colors a little bit more, but ultimately I'm pretty happy, especially with the kind of microstructures that I put into Edoras over there. This one was done in a flash, and honestly, I'm really happy with it. So this is the Nazgul for day 13, and I think I got lucky here, and just this creepy kind of sunrise image, just made it really wraith-like, really thin, kind of deceptively slight, but yet it's something extremely dangerous. Yeah, love the texture I got on the trees, on the ground, the shadows, the creepy eyes, I'm very happy with this one. This one, even if I drew it fast, just came together really well. Drawing the eagles is also something that I was like, oh, how can I make this interesting? And I just like the idea of dipping into the Hobbit. Got the dwarves and Gandalf and Bilbo down there. But yeah, I kind of I don't know. I'm really happy with actually the colors in this one, and the scale I got of the eagles, and the fact that I just reduced the other ones to silhouettes with hatching. I don't know. Not much to say about this one. I just think it's an effective one. This one's also effective. I really like this, the Dark Lord. I went with, the moment these orcish smiths are giving him kind of maybe a first pass at the ring, the One Ring, and I don't know. I just like this sort of amorphous kind of like he doesn't have a face in that helmet, and I just found that creepy. I like also like the kind of black hands of the orcs there, and his orcish smiths, and I love the size of Sauron, his height, and how skinny he is, and I felt like it was sinister, and I also love the lighting of it. I think the lighting of it really works. I know this is me talking about my own work and kind of like patting myself on the back, but I don't know. I think I did a good job, and I think it's okay to acknowledge when you do things well. Here we have the Uruk-hai, and I just went for this like sinewy, like kind of, like a very muscular looking kind of orc, big and tall, nasty meat cleaver. I'm definitely taking riffs from the Lord of the Rings films, at least with like the shape of that sword, but I'm trying to come up with my own like kind of there's the white hand of Saruman, but then also the eye of Sauron on his shield there, and I don't know, I just like this. He's mostly unclothed, and I think that's more threatening than an armored one coming at you, because it's like he does not care if you do harm to him, because he just wants to do harm to you. So yeah, I'm happy with the lighting and even the musculature. I feel like I've articulated it nice. Morgul was a tough one, because when I looked up the word, most people were coming up with like Morgul blades, or the Fortress of Minas Morgul. But as I looked around, I saw that Morgul means kind of black magic, or kind of a sinister form of magic, and I'm like, all right, well, that's what I'm drawing. And who's doing the magic? Well, the 9 kings before they became wraiths. And I wanted a kind of a bit of a diversity in the looks they have and who they were. And I'm pretty happy with this one. I feel like I would like to embellish on it, do an even nicer, more detailed version of it. Um, but I'm all together. I think the concept works really well here. Here I have a goblin. Facing off, I would say, against Frodo, and just kind of wanted a nice action scene. You kind of lit by the glow of Sting there, and yeah, just like that. A detail I like about this one is I like that the goblin, he is got a piece of armor on his chest that is, if you look at just the lines of it, is actually that is meant to be a simplified version of a dwarf as the kind of design element on the actual armor piece, but then it's just kind of crudely painted over with an Eye of Sauron. I don't know. I just thought I liked that. I also think I got the poses down pretty well here. This one I think I did really well on. I really like King of the Dead, and went for a nice skeletal ghost. He's dual wielding. He's got all this plasma-y, ghosty stuff around, and I made him green. Not much to say. I don't know. I really like it. I'm really happy with it. I love, yeah, all the various elements of it. All right, so this one's number 20 is the Ent, or an Ent, and I just didn't want to do Treebeard. Really, that's the answer here. Is I just wanted to do a different Ent. He's got a little squirrel friend, and honestly, I think I can do better. I like the concept. I just think that there's just something off with some of the textures here. And I really think that it could have been executed a little bit better. And yeah, he looks like he just has a huge head of leafy hair, which maybe he does. But yeah, this is one I definitely want to come back to and kind of do a better version of. But I think the concept is still solid. So this is the Barrow Downs. This is something that was cut from the movie, so there's no ground to miss there. And it's a scene from early in the Fellowship when they're in kind of this creepy part of it's near the Shire. It's where the tombs of ancient men are buried, and basically they get haunted and spooked out by a barrow wight, or a ghost. And I threw him in the front, and there's all these creepy standing stones. It's foggy, it's atmospheric, there's a statue there. I don't know. I think concept wise, I think I did a great job. And I think I'd like to come back to this one just to do a little bit more embellishment, a little more detail, and make it even more atmospheric and creepy. But yeah, I think this one works. For magic, I decided to go to the Hobbit for the magic ring, because before it was the One Ring, it was just Bilbo's magic ring, and I this moment of him slipping it on while he's at knife point or sword point and disappearing. And yeah, I don't know. I think as a concept, as a moment, I think I got it. I especially like the kind of glow outside of the white outline. For orcs, I decided to show them as this kind of raiding, pillaging thing, as this dangerous force. I got a decapitated guy, I got somebody getting dragged out of a burning house with a burning field in the background, an orc in the front with blood on his face like he's eating somebody, and a couple of orcs in kind of bone armor, which is a concept that I believe, yeah, is definitely in the Rings of Power and was apparently worked on by the great Guy Davis. So I credit him for inspiration here. I love the idea of bone armor. But yeah, I don't know. I think concept wise, I'm really happy with it. I feel that this is something that I could definitely do a more, kind of cleaned up in a manner of speaking version of that I think I would really enjoy doing. But on the whole, I think this one works. This one I think works too on a different level. This one's Morgoth, so this is the predecessor to Sauron, and I think that it is nice. I don't know. I like him as this kind of like giant monolithic being, kind of like, and I'm definitely riffing on a character in Headlopper. So thank you, Andrew McLean. But also I like that I gave Morgoth, like, his head is the tower that Sauron, or the Tower of Barad-dûr is his head. And also I like that he didn't give him, like, a face. He's this force of evil in physical form, but I don't know, I didn't want to give him a face. And that's Sauron kind of bowing to him at the ground there. I don't know. I really like this one. This one's, I definitely drew on Viggo Mortensen for Aragorn there, but this is Andúril, the rebuilt blade. I really like the colors in it. I really like how I kind of did like the magic of the moment there. And I don't know, I think putting the little seams in there, because it's the rebuilt Narsil, putting the seams in there, I think just kind of helps tell that part of the story. But I don't know. I'm happy with it. I think this one is a really fun one. This is the one I think is concept-wise I'm the most happy with. So this is Moria. So this is like, I guess, a moment that we don't see, but we hear about in the Fellowship. And it's the scribe, the dwarf scribe, who's kind of held up in Moria when the orcs are attacking, and he's hearing the drums before they come. And so this is for siege. And so, yeah, this is him kind of hearing the drums of his own, death coming. And I'm really happy with it. Love the colors. And it was a moment that I'm like, ooh, I want to capture that. And so there we go. The Watcher in the Water. This one, I think, sort of works. But yeah, it's the kind of like tentacle monster that's in the water outside of Moria. And I don't know. I like the kind of glowing eyes under the water. I like it's an explosion of these tentacles coming out. Because, yeah, I didn't want to draw the creature itself because it's too easy just to make it an octopus or, I don't know, or giant squid. So I just like that you don't know what it is. Yeah, I think I could add a little more embellishments to this and make it even better. For day 28, I did King, and I'm pretty happy with this one. I did the King of Mirkwood, Thranduil. And I'm just happy with the design of his crown. I like just incorporating like the antlers, of course, and the leaves. And I just like the posture I gave him, and kind of gave the setting. It's not meant to be like depicting a particular moment. It's just to kind of give you, like all the information you need to discern who it is. So it's more like old school illustration rather than like a scene from a story. For Osgiliath, I depicted kind of the city abandoned, and I kind of wanted to show a little bit of like kind of the eeriness, but also the sadness that I associate with Osgiliath, because it's supposed to be this big, beautiful city, and yet they built it like right next to Mordor, and so like that's where like the red sky is from, and like over those mountains is Mordor, and yeah, like being in the shadow of Mordor, it's bad real estate choice. Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, that's my advice to the people of Gondor: is don't do it. But otherwise, I'm very happy with the kind of like the dome designs that I threw in there, and statue, try to really suggest that little the white tree of Gondor in there. Yeah, but also not go over the top with like it's in ruins, because I feel like I want it to feel like it's empty but salvageable if they could retake it, but there's like a big crack in one of the domes there. just to show that it's been under siege. I think it's one of the subtlest ones that I did, and I like it. So day 30, Tom Bombadil. So this one was important for me to nail because I really love the character Tom Bombadil. It's a very interesting, weird, and mysterious character, which I'm very grateful that Tolkien decided to include in the story. And I think I came to the conclusion, you might say, that I think Tom Bombadil is possibly the chaotic good version or variation on like a Lovecraftian entity, because like they're like kind of chaotic evil, like a Cthulhu or a Yog Sothoth or what have you, where it's this kind of impossibly ancient being that you can't learn more about and you can't ascertain what their motivations are, and yet their purpose towards you, all you can tell, is malevolent. But you can't, there's no real reason why. And I feel like he's the good version, and possibly maybe one of the very few good versions of that, where he's impossibly ancient, his origins are mysterious, his motivations are impossible to understand, and yet you can tell that for the most part, like he'll have your back if you need it, but also don't rely on him being there, because he's got his own ambitions, his own motivations. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I really, I like the kind of the hatching that I did and varied up for the different textures. I like this kind of like peaceful little scene of him kind of taking a nap next to a waterfall. I like Goldberry, his woman from the river, just in her element, literally. The little flowers, the mushrooms, and even just like how I dressed him. And also the colors. The colors weren't this perfect before. I used like different versions of these colors and just didn't look right. And I just played around with them and ended up with this, and I'm really happy with it. And I think of all of them, this may be like the best drawing of them all. Even if some of the designs or executions may be more pleasing or dynamic, this one I think drawing wise, I think I nailed. The eye. So I could have just drawn the fiery eye to end the month, just a classic emblem. But when I kept thinking about it, it was so hard to not just draw the eye from the Peter Jackson films. And like, it's a great design, of course, but I just wanted something different, something that other people may not think of, or just like that I could call my own. And I always loved the imagery of the statue of like the human king being defaced by orcs, and they remove the head and replace it with a boulder that they scratch the eye on, and I like that idea. So I did that kind of orc graffiti of like an old statue, and I'm really happy with it. I don't know. It seems both dramatic and yet static, and I like the vines and the head, collecting or starting to grow some grass on it. So I think it was a great way to end the month. So that was Tolktober, and I'm really happy and proud of myself that I was able to finish all 31 drawings. And it was also great seeing other people's amazing work out there. And I'm always going to love drawing from Tolkien's work, because it's just very imaginative, or it just sparks my imagination. I'll say that. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Let me know which drawing you like the best, because I think yeah, I want to hear what other people have to say. Or um, and long live Tolkien.